Hello and welcome to the regular December 2024 board meeting of the Urban Redevelopment Authority of Pittsburgh. For those who need it, note that ASL interpretation is available if you go ahead and pin the folks' names that you see there on the screen. Our first order of business is roll call. Let the record reflect that all 5 board members are present and accounted for, with Representative Powell and Director Williamson joining us virtually. Next on the agenda is approval of our November 14th, 2024 board meeting minutes. I'll entertain a motion to approve. Can we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? The minutes are approved. Our next item is public comment. I know we had one written public comment, but I don't believe anyone registered to give comment in person. I will turn it over to Director Geiger.
Good afternoon, members of the URA Board. I'm David Geiger, Director of Government and Strategic Affairs. Public comment registration opens at 2 p.m. on the Tuesday of the board meeting week and closes at 1 p.m. the day of the meeting. Members of the public are welcome to provide comment here in person, virtually through Zoom, or providing written comment. All public comment becomes part of the board meeting minutes. As our chairman stated, we received one written comment this month. Abdullah Salem and many of the Center Ave RFQ Phase 1 developers provided input on the Greater Hill District Neighborhood Reinvestment Fund, also known as the Lower Hill LRTA funding. Board members should have received all written comments in their board packets this afternoon. At this time, we have no other registered speakers for public comment.
Thanks, Director.
Thank you.
Moving on to announcements, we have a number of them today. For our first one, I will turn it over to our Executive Director, Nimani Stenger.
Thank you, Chairman. My name is Sushila Nimani Stenger, Executive Director of the URA. The first announcement is that due to the holiday season, the URA offices will be closed from December 30th to January 3rd. Please note that we will be monitoring phone and email for any urgent matters during this time. In addition, there will be a cancellation of the January 2025 regular URA board meeting and postponement of the 2025 annual meeting, which usually takes place in January, and those will both take place on February 13th, 2025. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Our next announcement's related to the housing stabilization program, and then the one after that's for the homeowner assistance program, and Chief Wassler will handle both of these.
Thank you, Chairman. Good afternoon. I'm Kiana Wassler, Chief Housing Officer at the URA. This first announcement is regarding the Housing Stabilization Program. This program is the URA's Housing Crisis Intervention Program funded through the Housing Opportunity Fund. We are making the announcement that it's currently closed and not accepting applications due to funding being expended. We encourage callers who may be experiencing rent, mortgage, or move-in assistance needs to communicate and work directly with their landlord about their situation. You can also continue to reach out to PA 211 and Allegheny Link to discuss your situation and see if there are additional financial assistance resources, agencies, and programs outside of the Housing Stabilization Program that will be able to assist you. In the PA 211 contact information is www.pa211.org. You can call 1-866-730-2368, and you can also come to the Human Services Building in person, located at 1 Smithfield Street, Pittsburgh, PA 15222.
Thank you, Chief Wassler. Any questions from board members on that announcement? Okay, I'll turn it back over to you, Chief Wasser, for the homeowner assistance program.
Thank you. The Homeowner Assistance Program, or HAP program, will be piloted through Action Housing for the 2024 round. We expect that round will open, the application for that round will open on February 14th, 2025. Additional information will be provided to the board and the public about that round opening. And also, we'll be providing information about the portal where application will take place. So we'll be in touch again at the next board meeting to provide more detailed information on the HAP program opening of February 14th, 2025.
Thank you. Any questions from board members? Okay. Our last announcement is regarding the Greater Hill District Neighborhood Reinvestment Fund, and Julia McMahon's joining us for this.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm here today to announce the release of the request for qualifications for a project manager for the Greater Hill District Neighborhood Reinvestment Fund. The purpose of the Greater Hill District Neighborhood Reinvestment Fund is to invest in the Hill District, including providing financing to development projects and funding for various community needs. The project manager will play a vital role in managing the programmatic administration of the reinvestment fund. This role requires strong administrative, organizational, and communication skills, a commitment to equity and inclusion, and the ability to work collaboratively with diverse stakeholders to support community development and revitalization efforts. The project manager will enter into a professional services agreement with the URA, and the request for qualifications will be released this month. Thank you.
Thanks, Julia. Any questions or comments from board members?
Comment. One,
Council President.
just wanted sort of to the public comment that we received. One of the challenges with the fund is the advisory board is a makeup of volunteers. And so unfortunately, no one is waking up on a daily basis just to focus on this. We've had a tremendous amount of URA staff who spend a lot of time on this, and I thank them all for their efforts, even for our council, to get us to the point where we have an RFP that could be released. But the idea here is to have one person who would wake up every day to administer this fund, to do all the necessary work to get the dollars on the street. So this is actually a really important next step for this. So I just want to thank everyone who was involved in producing this request for qualifications. So thank you.
Agreed. Yeah, I just want to thank Julia, the work and patience for you, your colleagues. I know the legal team and our executive team has spent a considerable amount of time getting to this point. You know, it's critically needed resources for the Greater Hill District, and you know, this is an important step in getting to a place where we're finally able to, you know, provide those resources to important projects in the community and need that, you know, residents, businesses, you know, and others have throughout the Hill. So exciting to be to this point, and hopefully we soon will be seeing, you know, approvals for funding awards as a result of this. So thanks everyone for that. There's no other questions or comments from board members. We'll move into the rest of today's agenda. We have items in housing, administrative, and then our typical consent agenda. So first in housing, few different action items under Bedford Dwellings Phase 1, and I will turn it over to Nicholas Person for this.
Thank you, Chairman. Afternoon, everyone. My name is Nicholas Person, lending analyst in the residential lending department. And I'm here in front of this board requesting authorization to enter into 3 rental gap program loan agreements, approve issuance of 2 multifamily financing bonds, and 1 authorization to sell a parcel of land for the project Bedford Dwellings Phase 2. This project is in relation to the overarching Bedford Choice development, which will see the new construction of over 800 new units of housing, 411 of which is going to be replacement housing for all current Bedford Dwellings residents. This plan is broken down into multiple phases. Phase 1 was completed earlier this year, and we'll see the construction of 123 units of housing. Phase 2, on the other hand, is going to kick it up a notch and see the construction of 180 new units of housing, 147 of which is going to be affordable, and of that, 103 units are going to be replacement units for Bedford Dwellings residents. We can go to the next slide as well. Phase 2 is broken down into 3 sub-phases: Phase 2A, 2B, and 2C. 2A is a 9% LIHTC deal, while 2B and 2C are 4% LIHTC deals. 2A will come in the form of 70-unit townhouses, 2B will be a 60-unit senior apartment building, and 2C will be a 50-unit general occupancy building. The total development cost for this whole phase is going to be approximately $105 million. To fill their financial gap in their capital stack, the developer submitted 3 RGP applications to support to receive RGP loans to cover the hard and soft costs of this development. And after reviewing their applications, looking at their financing, everything looks solid. Everything looks good. And so we're here in front of this board requesting authorization to enter into 3 RGP loans, one for $1 million for Phase 2A, $1.75 million for Phase 2B, and $1.25 million for 2C. These RGP loans, they're in terms of structure, they're very similar in nature to other RGP loans that have gone to this board, 0% interest, cash flow repayment structure, and for preserving affordability, a restrictive covenant set on the properties for a period of 40 years. Now, the one thing that does make these RGP loans a bit different from some of the other ones that have gone to this board is the authorization language about the max loan amount. If we return to the first slide, you'll see what I mean. The authorization language is a bit more dense, and the reason here, or the context, is that the city of Pittsburgh has agreed to set aside $5 million worth of CDBG fiscal year 2024 funds for Phase 2. And the URA is the one that administers these CDBG funds. So normally we would just add it to the max loan amount, but we can't do that just yet because we don't have the funds just yet. We get them after we've executed a cooperation agreement with the city, and it is in draft form, but will not get executed until either the end of this year or January. And so in anticipation of receiving those funds, we just added a rider to the authorization saying that, once the CDBG funds come in, we'll increase the max loan amount. So for example, 2A, it's now set at 1 million, but when the CDBG funds come in, it'll go up to 3 million. For 2B, 1.75 million will go up to 3.5 million. And then for 2C, 1.25 million, up to 2.5 million. Last thing I just want to add, because there was other authorizations here, circling back to some of them, because this is a 4% LIHTC, or because Phase 2B and 2C are 4% LIHTC deals, the developer has asked the URA to issue tax-exempt bonds to make the projects more financially feasible. And so we have authorizations here for the URA to issue multifamily financing bonds for Phase 2B and 2C in a maximum amount of up to $20 million for each. That's pretty much it. Thank you all so much for listening. I know I threw a lot at you guys. Before I open the floor to any questions or comments, I would like to introduce Bill Gaddy, Chief Executive Officer of the developer Trek Development Group Incorporated, who I believe is on Zoom to provide a few brief remarks and help in answering any questions the board has.
Thank you, Nicholas. This is Bill Gaddy. I can answer any questions the board may have. This has been a multi-year process spanning the last 5 years, and we're happy to get through this next critical turnstile. We've had shared excellent partnership with the city and the URA and the Housing Authority, and most importantly, the resident community in the Hill District and the community leadership there. So it's a complex project. There are many moving parts, but we're very happy with where we are now, and we're on schedule to complete the choice effort overall within the 7-year allotted time frame. So we feel good about that.
Thanks, Bill. Thanks, Nicholas. Questions, comments from board members? Seeing no one else, Um, I want to, I mean, I think it's important to note, you know, between the first phase, the City's Edge project being part of this phase, what's contemplated as phase 3, all being located off-site of Bedford dwellings, and how important that is for the ability to really maximize the move once for the residents, meaning they don't have to find temporary housing, be temporarily relocated. You know, oftentimes in projects when that happens, unfortunately, then when the new housing is built, the residents aren't able to, you know, return for a variety of reasons into the new housing. And this really a testament to the team at TRAC, the team at the Housing Authority here at the URA, you know, the community partners who've worked on this and the residents for, you know, really prioritizing that in the way this development's done. You know, I want to recognize that effort and thank the team for putting it together, because I know it also unfortunately increases the infrastructure costs that are needed to facilitate, you know, the projects themselves. So, you know, thank you all for your work on that. It's exciting to be at this point. You know, obviously it was exciting when we got the tax credit awards, but these are critical steps to get us to a groundbreaking and see progress on, you know, the second phase moving forward. So if there's no other questions or comments from board members, entertain a motion to approve.
Move.
Can we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Next item on the agenda is related to the low-income housing tax credit pre-applications. And Ben Payton is joining us for this.
Afternoon. Been down a little bit here. Good afternoon, URA board members and members of the public. My name is Ben Payton, and I am the Assistant Director of Residential Development here at the URA. Excuse me. Today, I'm requesting board approval to enter into exclusive negotiation with 3 projects seeking low-income housing tax credit awards from Pennsylvania Housing Finance Agency. I will also provide a brief overview of the projects that apply to our low-income housing tax credit pre-application request. The 3 developers and projects requesting to enter into exclusive negotiations with the URA are Carrick Senior Apartments with CHN Housing Partners. This is a 52-unit, 9% LIHTC project in the Carrick neighborhood. Hilltop Villas with Hilltop Developer LLC, a 48-unit, 9% LIHTC project in the Ferrywood neighborhood. And East Hills Drive and Park Hill Drive with Trek Development Group, a 33-unit, 9% project in the East Hills neighborhood. To submit a full application to PHFA for a LIHTC award, developers need to demonstrate a level of site control. Entering into exclusive negotiations with these developers will provide that necessary level of control for their requests, for their applications. In addition to this request, I would like to highlight that the URA received pre-applications from 16 projects planning to apply to PHFA in February for LIHTC awards. These projects are spread across the city and would create a total of 1,058 units, with 834 of those units being affordable. The total RGP funding request for these projects was $28 million, and the downtown projects requested an additional $13.5 million through the Downtown Conversion Program, totaling an amount of $41.5 million. The next steps for the URA will be to provide preliminary letters of funding support for each project, which they can submit to PHFA as part of their LIHTC application due in February 2025. These letters of support are contingent upon projects receiving a LIHTC award and returning to the URA board for formal approval of funding. We anticipate that some of these projects may return to the URA board as early as Q4 2025. That's it. So thank you for your time, and I'm happy to take any questions or comments from the board.
My name's Sushila Namani Stanger, URA Executive Director. Just wanted to add that, as many of you know, 9% LIHTC applications are subject to a competitive process, which is managed by PHFA, the state level. But I also wanted to just comment that we are really fortunate to have a full comprehensive list of meaningful projects with a geographic diversity throughout the city. And so I'm looking forward to the next year.
Thanks, Director. Thanks, Beth. Questions, comments from board members? I know it's early days. I'd like to echo though, what our executive director said in terms of excitement over the quality of projects that are pursuing the tax credit awards. I think it's a, testament to a lot of these, developers' commitments, or really all of their developers' commitments to advancing affordable housing, within the city of Pittsburgh. Leveraging both the competitive 9% as well as the 4% tax credit program. With 11 projects going in for 9% awards. We know we won't get them all, but it's worth noting, as we've talked about at this table several months ago, that we have been incredibly successful in the last two rounds within the city, getting 6 of the competitive 9% low-income housing tax credit awards in each of the last two rounds. So our hope is, knock on wood, that we're just as successful, if not more, this go around. And we'll work with the rest of the projects to continue, advancing from there. So if there's no other questions or comments from board members for those 3 projects where we do need to take action today, I'll entertain a motion to approve. Can we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? The motion's carried. Thank you, Ben. Thanks. Next on the agenda is the presentation of the Homeowner Assistance Program guidelines. This is a non-voting item, and I will turn it over to Chief Wasser.
Thank you, Chairman. The Homeowner Assistance Program, or HAP program, is undergoing changes again. Today, I would like to present guideline changes for consideration. The Homeowner Assistance Program provides $35,000 in financial assistance to eligible homeowners that are at 80% AMI and below and live in the city of Pittsburgh. This program is a critical tool in helping these families that may have limited discretionary income maintain their homes, undertake critical repairs and deferred maintenance that needs to be done on the home to help them be able to remain in the home. Some other information about the program is you have the applicants have to be current on their taxes or be on a tax plan to repay. And there's several other steps in the process to get these applicants approved. We are requesting to change the program structure from its existing structure, which is a $30,000 zero interest 20-year deferred loan, which is secured by a mortgage on the property. And that loan is also can be combined with a $5,000 grant to get to that total of $35,000 in assistance. That's the current structure of the program. We are proposing to change the program to be a $35,000 grant to the homeowner that includes a 10-year affordability deed restriction. That deed restriction will limit the resale of the home post-completion for 10 years to be resold to an 80% AMI or below buyer. With this new structure, applicants, one of the current requirements of the program is, program guidelines is that applicants can apply every 5 years. With this new structure, applicants who have gone through the program previously will now only be able to reapply after 10 years when the deed restriction is removed from the home. These draft guidelines will be posted on the URA's website and available for public feedback until January 9th. And then the final amended guidelines will be presented to the URA Board at its February board meeting for approval and acceptance. Again, we are working through this process in preparation to open the HAP application on February 14th under these new guideline changes. I'm happy to answer any questions any of the members have.
Thanks, Chief Foster. Any questions from board members? No. Okay. Again, it's a non-voting item. We would see these again in as early as February to approve the changes to the program. We just encourage the public that's to take a look at the draft guidelines. As Chief Foster said, they'll be on the URA's website with the comment period open until January 9th. So, thank you. Moving into administrative. We have one item on our agenda, and that is the 2025 operating budget. I will turn it over to our CFO, DeMar Carter.
Thank you, Chairman. I'm DeMar Carter, the CFO at the URA of Pittsburgh. I am presenting the URA's 2025 operating budget. For 2025, our budget will be $12,908,252. 34% of our revenue we anticipate will come from our government grants. 34% will come from our program and services. 32% will come from other internal sources. Our expenses are primarily personnel costs, while 22% is operational and administrative costs. If you have any questions, please let me know.
Thank you, Chief Carter. Any questions, comments from board members on the budget? Sure.
Yeah, I'd just like to add a quick comment. I just want to thank Damara. 3 years ago, you started a very collaborative, iterative process with URA leadership to project revenue and expenses, and you've continued that work. And so this budget reflects that collaborative work. So thank you for that.
Welcome.
If there's no other questions or comments, would just like to echo Director Namani Stanger's compliments to Chief Carter, you and your team for pulling this together, as well as, you know, as she noted, the collaborative process that you do with your fellow directors and their teams. I know it takes a lot to get to this point. There's a lot of things to balance to ensure we do have a balanced budget. So appreciate all the efforts that it took to present this to us today.
Thank you.
If there's no other questions or comments, then I'll entertain a motion to approve our 2025 operating budget.
Moved.
Can we have a second?
Second, sorry.
That's all right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? We have an operating budget for 2025. That'll move us into our consent agenda. With the items on the screen, I do want to note that item H is a walk-on item that wasn't originally noted in the agenda that was posted or distributed. So want to make sure we call that one out. If there are no questions or comments from board members on the consent agenda, I would entertain a motion to approve in its entirety.
Wait, I'll need to abstain from 1G given the conflict.
Okay.
Moved.
Oh, I'll also abstain, sorry, from item 1G. Good catch, Director Connolly. So we have a motion to approve in its entirety. Can we have a second?
Second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? With 2 abstentions to item 1G as noted. With that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Can we have a second?
Second.
All right, we are adjourned. We will see everyone in February as noted, so please enjoy the holidays and have a happy new year.
Thank you.